This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream and Nebula.
I think we got the nicest tree in the forest.
It was worth the 5-mile hike.
Yeah, it was. Well, I gotta get back to cutting firewood.
Oh, Hank, really now? Don't you think we have enough?
You can never have too much firewood.
Oh, finally. Traffic was awful.
Patrick, what are you doing here? We weren't expecting you for another week.
It's only December 12th, 2020. You just finished making that musical video essay about The Greatest Showman. Shouldn't you be resting?
Rest? No, there's no time to rest. Not when I have something so important to talk to you guys about. Look, I know my timing is a little abrupt, and I didn't really give you guys any warning. It's just, I really need to explain something to you. Can we sit down? Not where the table usually is.
Patrick, what's all this about? We've never seen you so worked up.
Well, except for that talk show, but that was an unprecedented time for everyone.
Now, if the controversial Christmas classic Love Actually has taught us anything, it's that at Christmas, you tell the truth. And the truth is, I think Shane Black's 2016 crime comedy The Nice Guys is one of the most underrated movies of the past decade.
What?
You came all this way to talk to us about a movie? This is some weird behavior.
Sadly, it was not the hit it deserved to be. The second worst decision the American people made in 2016 was to choose the Angry Birds movie over The Nice Guys. Because guys, this is one of the great buddy action movies ever made. It's a loving homage to classic detective fiction, and just legitimately one of the funniest movies Hollywood has produced in years. And even if just for one scene, it is technically a Christmas movie. The Nice Guys rules. And today, we are gonna talk about why. Okay, now if we want to understand The Nice Guys, first we need to establish the proper context. So we gotta talk about Shane Black. Now between the years of 1987 and 1996, Shane Black reinvented the buddy action comedy and became the most in-demand screenwriter in Hollywood. If you want to feel bad about your accomplishments, like I sometimes do, think about the fact that he wrote the script for Lethal Weapon when he was 21 years old. That's just brutal. The thing about Shane Black's movies is that they fucking rule. And they rule because he perfected this pretty simple formula, but even though it's pretty simple, no one else has ever really been able to pull it off. Basically, he takes characters and plots straight out of old hard-boiled crime novels by writers like Ed McBain or Ross MacDonald or Raymond Chandler, and mixes them into a bombastic Hollywood action movie. So you've got these sad, broken men trying to solve a mystery and ending up in car chases and shootouts. And also, they're really, really funny. And also, they're always set at Christmas.
Silent night.
Why Christmas? Well, I could just as easily ask, why not Christmas? Why isn't every movie set at Christmas? Remember, as Andy Williams taught us, it is the most wonderful time of the year. The festive setting with colorful lights and cheery music provide this great ironic backdrop to violent shootouts and murders. Plus, this holiday that's about getting together with your family, it really heightens the bad feelings for these sad, lonely characters. Like, think of Riggs in Lethal Weapon sitting alone in his home watching Christmas cartoons and putting a gun in his mouth. That wouldn't be nearly as fun in July. You can't be sad during barbecue season. Anyway, after the mid-90s, Black pretty much disappeared. And then suddenly resurfaced in 2005, but now he was writing and directing his own movies, and suddenly they were better than ever before.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
A picture of me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
See, the movies that Black had written, they're all good, but I don't think all of those directors completely got how to handle that material. Like, I know this is a controversial take in some circles, but I don't completely love The Long Kiss Goodnight. I think it's a brilliant script, but that Rennie Harlin, not a director known for nuance, didn't quite capture the right tone. But now that Black was in full control, he could show everyone exactly how it was supposed to be done.
Captain fucking Magic.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a masterpiece featuring career best performances from Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer that deconstructs the very genre that Black helped define with Downey's running fourth wall breaking narration.
Okay, I apologize. That is a terrible scene. It's like, why was that in the movie? Gee, you think maybe it'll come back later? Maybe? I hate that. A TV's on talking about the new power plant. Wonder where the climax will happen.
This is what Deadpool wishes it was. And even though the movie was quietly dumped into a limited theatrical run by a studio that didn't know what to do with it, Jon Favreau saw it. And that's where he had the idea to cast Downey as Tony Stark. So what I'm saying is, you can thank Shane Black for indirectly making the Marvel Cinematic Universe the success that it is. Or blame him. Or both. I don't know, do whatever you want. Then, 8 years later, Downey brought in Black to direct and co-write Iron Man 3, and even within the Marvel machine, he managed to make what is 100% a Shane Black film. And I would argue, probably one of the 3 best movies that studio has ever made. And because it's a movie about Iron Man, it grossed $1 billion and was the biggest movie of 2013. Now, a lot of these directors who make a huge hit Marvel movie, they just end up making more Marvel movies. But Black, he took the negotiating power that comes with having made the biggest blockbuster of the year, he turned right back around and he cashed it in on the best movie he's ever made. The kind of movie that Hollywood doesn't really want to make anymore. So what I'm saying is, let's finally talk about The Nice Guys. The very first image we see in this movie, right after the cool as hell 1970s Warner Brothers logo, is the Hollywood sign, as the camera drifts along behind it, looking out at the city below. But it's not the Hollywood sign that we're used to. It's the Hollywood sign of 1977. And folks, it is not in good shape. The golden age has passed, and this town is starting to decay. So The Nice Guys is set in 70s LA, which means you've got lots of mustaches, big collars, and a party where Earth, Wind, and Fire are performing. I'm not really an LA guy, like, look at me, no one this pale is built for year-round summer, but I love the LA of Shane Black movies, because this is clearly a guy who knows the city and knows that it kinda sucks. Sorry, LA viewers. The titular nice guys are Jackson Healy, played by Russell Crowe, and Holland March, played by Ryan Gosling. Each of them is introduced as if they are the star of their own movie, with their own hard-boiled noir voiceover explaining who they are and what they do.
But if you got trouble with someone's messing around with your underage daughter, you might ask around for me, Jackson Healy.
Healy beats people up for a living, and March is a private detective, a pretty bad private detective, who begins the movie waking up in a bathtub full of water while wearing a full suit. According to his daughter,
"You're the world's worst detective."
March is looking for a girl named Amelia who might be involved in one of his cases. Amelia is paying Healy to keep detectives off her back because she's on the run. So he shows up at March's house and breaks his arm. But then, when some goons attack Healy and ask where Amelia is, he realizes that she's caught up in something much bigger, so he goes back and hires March to help him find out what's going on. So we have a classic detective story about a missing girl that leads to a string of porn industry murders, which leads to a conspiracy with the American automotive industry and the Department of Justice. You know, one of those. Obviously, any buddy movie is only as good as its buddies. So it's a good thing that these are some of the best buddies ever. I mean, they're not best buddies at the beginning. They don't really like each other. Like, as I mentioned, Healy shows up at Marge's house and breaks his arm. But that's how these movies work. They don't like each other, then they begrudgingly work together, and finally, they start getting along. One of the joys of this movie is watching these guys slowly start developing a rhythm and getting better at working together.
What's in it for me?
He'll stop doing it.
Doing what?
That.
Fuck!
Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling admittedly seem kind of like weird choices for a movie like this. Crowe is the Oscar-winning serious actor that you cast to bring gravitas to a film. And Gosling is the very pretty guy that you cast to stand there stoically, as you can feel his emotions tearing him apart inside, but he doesn't have the words to verbalize it. And yet, here, they're perfect. Crowe is the straight man who can deliver the hell out of hard-boiled narration and looks completely at home beating the shit out of people. But the real fun here is his exasperation at this buffoon he's working with.
You get drunk, you lose your gun, you take a header off the balcony, and now you're gonna tell me it's like a hallowed time-honored detective ploy, right?
It was very slippery up there, okay? I was in the pool.
And speaking of this buffoon...
Wait, Dad, he...
Jesus!
I promise I'm not overhyping this when I say that Ryan Gosling's performance as Holland March is a revelation.
How does that song go?
The best point of comparison I can think of is Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. Not that these performances are at all similar, but in each of these cases, an actor that I already thought was very talented revealed comedic talents that I never imagined they possessed and completely leveled up as a performer. So some things that I never expected Gosling could do. One of the single funniest screams in film history. This bit of acting with the bathroom stall door.
Baby's gonna stay right here.
And a full-on riff on Lou Costello. And amidst all of this, he fires off Black's lightning-fast zingers just as well as Downey did in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Detroit had her killed.
I think you're right about that. Whole city got together, took a vote. Big turnout.
The really fun thing about Holland March is that he's always one step behind, but he's trying to project a confidence and professionalism like he's totally in control. And also, he's almost always drunk, and Gosling plays drunk like a true master.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Amelia. She's about dark hair and answers to the call of the wild. Just kidding.
What?
I forgot her name, but you know, if you see, let me know and tell me my name.
But the third lead of the movie, the secret weapon of the nice guys, the element that takes it from a good movie to a great movie, is March's daughter, Holly, played by Angourie Rice.
Then, day 3, ask for more money.
Kid sidekicks in action movies are tricky. When you introduce a child character running around in dangerous situations alongside adults trying to defeat the bad guys, a lot of the time, you end up with something like The Kid in the Mummy Returns. These annoyingly precocious children who mostly just get in the way and do dumb shit like gymnastics kicking velociraptors or saying things like,
"Now this is pod racing."
Ugh. But Black knows better than that. In Iron Man 3, he really played with fire, writing in a lonely kid that Tony Stark befriends and bonds with on his journey of personal growth. Now that should be absolutely insufferable, but somehow the kid turned out awesome. And Holly is even better.
We stopped at a bar. That's why we're late.
She's 12 years old, but serves as her dad's secretary and driver, since he's so incompetent that he can't function on his own. But there's more going on than just that. See, Holly is the moral center of the movie. Healy and March have been so relentlessly beaten down by life that they've pretty much stopped caring about actually doing anything good or helping people. Holly's dad has been letting her down for years.
Am I a bad person?
Yes.
And when Healy lies to her about killing a guy, he realizes that he's let her down too. This is a movie that's really about two men trying to redeem themselves in the eyes of this girl. But also, to be clear, Holly just absolutely rules. She's a ton of fun. She tries to take out a bad guy by throwing coffee on her, but the coffee turns out to be cold.
I like where your head's at, sweetheart.
And she tries to hire Healy to beat up her friend Janet because, let's be real, Janet sucks.
You took the Lord's name in vain.
No, I didn't, Janet. I found it very useful, actually. Okay, Janet?
All this talking is kind of making me thirsty. Do you, perchance, have anything to drink?
We actually just made a batch of mulled wine. We used that box of TCM wine you shipped here last week.
Yeah, the Alfred Hitchcock Dial M for Merlot. That's good for Mullen.
You had me at wine. I'll take a bottle's worth. It's good mulled wine. Okay, for extremely stupid reasons that I don't really feel like getting into here, over the past few years, a portion of online movie fans, as in the ones who spend a lot of time sharing dumb opinions on shitty subreddits, have collectively decided that when a movie subverts expectations, that's a bad thing. Like, supposedly, when a movie surprises you by doing something different than you expected, apparently that's not good. Like, Jesus, guys. Movies are not products you order that are only supposed to do the exact thing you expect every single time. Being surprised, it's good, actually. Like, why the fuck do I even need to say this? So, ever since Riggs and Murtaugh walked up to a witness's house that suddenly exploded, Shane Black has been gleefully subverting the expected tropes of action movies, and he's only gotten better at it with time. I mean, the ultimate example of this is in Iron Man 3, when he sets up the Mandarin as the big villain, and then when we get to the big showdown with him and Tony Stark, it turns out that the Mandarin is just a drunk actor named Trevor. It's one of the most delightfully unexpected moments in the entire 20-something Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course, it pissed a lot of people off because it didn't go exactly the way they expected. And this might sound extreme, but I'll say it anyway. Those people have boring taste, and I don't want to be friends with them. At the beginning of The Nice Guys, we follow March doing his job, working a case, questioning witnesses, and in his narration, he presents himself as a pro, a guy who knows what he's doing. And then we see him trying to break into a building to look for clues. He wraps his hand, punches out the window, and immediately cuts his arm open, bleeding all over the place.
That's a lot of blood, guys. That's a lot of blood.
And suddenly the movie hard cuts to an ambulance rushing him to the hospital. There are a million rote, boring versions of this movie, and The Nice Guys never lets itself be any one of them. Anytime you think it's going to do the obvious predictable trope, it zigs in a totally different direction. Like in one scene, March and Healy go to a hotel to rescue Amelia, and when they arrive and find a bloodbath in progress, they immediately turn around and run away. When they follow a lead to a party, March ends up getting so drunk that he falls off the balcony and stumbles across a corpse that they try to hide and accidentally throw into a neighboring party. This movie has a scene where the two main characters are driving home, and suddenly there is a giant talking bumblebee voiced by Hannibal Buress sitting in the back seat, smoking a cigarette and complaining about the smog in LA.
I used to fly all the time, but now the smog is just disgusting, man.
Now, to be clear, this is a dream sequence because March falls asleep behind the wheel. But then, it sets up one of my favorite moments in the movie when March dives on the ground to grab Healy's ankle gun and then realizes that Healy doesn't actually have an ankle gun. He just had one in the dream.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Did I dream that? Yeah.
See, what's so clear watching The Nice Guys is how carefully crafted with so much love this movie is. This is a totally mainstream piece of cinema. It's a buddy crime action comedy. Like, there are hundreds, if not thousands of these things. And especially in the 30 plus years since Black first came on the scene, there are countless movies like this that are trying to do what he does. But then you watch The Nice Guys and you just see clear as day that nothing else measures up. There are no wasted moments. Every minor one-scene character is incredible. Like this kid on the bike that they question.
You sure you didn't see another girl?
Nope. You guys want to see my dick?
Nobody wants to see your dick, dude.
$20?
Even this brief moment where they ask for directions turns into one of my favorite dumb throwaway jokes ever.
You seen Chet, the projectionist?
He just left like 10 minutes ago. Went for a drink, and you are?
In a hurry. Thanks, buddy.
How'd you know my name was Buddy?
This movie just tosses out solid gold jokes constantly, like it's trying to make you choke on your drink. Even off camera over an establishing shot.
She has actual Coke bottles for glasses. You paint a mustache on a Volkswagen, she says, boy, that Omar Sharif sure runs fast.
And of course, I have to mention, I love Chet. Fucking Chet.
Fucking Chet? Fucking Chet.
Fucking Chet. Fucking Chet's a projectionalist. Fucking Chet.
Like, here's how maxed out this movie is. One of the henchmen is played by Keith David. I don't even know this character's name. I don't think he has one. And in most movies, he'd be nothing, just some forgettable dude. But here, it's fucking Keith David.
I got a gun pointed directly at your daughter's spine. Come with me.
He's elevating every scene he's in and gets a truly extraordinary death. Matt Bomer shows up and weaponizes all of his charm and handsomeness to play a villain who actually doesn't even arrive until the last half hour of the movie. And then he starts throwing little girls through windows and firing 2 guns at the same time while wearing 1 black leather glove. He rules. See, the thing is, The Nice Guys is so funny and so entertaining that you can easily miss how deeply sad this movie is. Like, let me lay it out for you. March is introduced looking at a message that he wrote to himself on his hand that says, "You will never be happy." His wife died when their house burned down, and he blames himself for not noticing the gas leak because he has no sense of smell. Healy's wife left him after having an affair with his own father. The high point of his life was the one time that he saved some people in a diner by beating up a gunman. Both men are alcoholics, but Healy is now sober. And at the end of the movie, the girl they were trying to protect has been murdered, the bad guys get away because there isn't enough evidence to convict, and Healy falls off the wagon and starts drinking again. There's a great scene where Healy tells March the story of when he saved the people in that diner. And he says,
"Just for a moment I felt useful."
And it's heartbreaking. Of course, March is drunk and falls asleep before he finishes the story. But that's the thing. In the end, yeah, they didn't really change anything. The system was too powerful. The bad guys got away. But at least for a moment, these guys did something good. For a moment, they were useful. And plus, they became friends. Everyone loves making friends, and it's hard as an adult. At the end of the movie, they've got a new business together and are taking on a new case. It's a perfect setup for like at least 3 more sequels that still have not happened because modern movie audiences have fucking garbage taste and didn't go see this movie in theaters when it came out. Like, if you want to talk about some really sad stuff, consider that 20 years ago, this movie would have been a goddamn blockbuster, but now it comes out and people are like, I don't know, it's not based on a thing I watched when I was a kid, and they don't bother seeing it. And then 5 years later, they watch it on HBO or something and go, wow, this movie is incredible. Why didn't I see it when it came out? And I'm sitting over here in a bathtub tattooing "You Will Never Be Happy" on my hand because of these people's stupid taste. We're never gonna get any more Nice Guys sequels. So in conclusion, what does The Nice Guys have to do with Christmas? Well, like nearly every Shane Black movie, it is partly set at Christmas. I mean, really only the final scene takes place at Christmas, so it has the least amount of Christmas of any Black movie. Except for his Predator movie, which is set at Halloween, and is also his worst movie, so you draw the conclusions. But even if only 5% of this movie is set at Christmas, I still watch it every year around this time, along with the rest of the Shane Black canon. Look, it's just a good excuse, and I will take any excuse to watch The Nice Guys. Because it's been 4 years now, and still no sequel. How come, Chief Willoughby? I know it wasn't a huge hit when it came out, but come on. Surely enough people have discovered it on streaming since then. This is the Warner Brothers. Can't they just make one and put it on HBO Max? Look, I never thought I would say this, but if necessary, I will launch a full Snyder Cut style campaign for this. I will harass people on the internet. I will spam the Warner Brothers Twitter account. I will buy billboards around LA. I will do whatever it takes. I need more Nice Guys in my life. But also, I really would rather not do all those things, so please just make it. So, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks, guys. I really needed to get that off my chest. Okay. Time for me to head out.
You're leaving?
But won't you just have to turn around and head back up again next week for Christmas?
Well, I'm not staying for Christmas. It's the end of the fiscal year. Do you know how many Plush CHARL orders I have to fill? Which reminds me, I noticed that the last CHARL I gave you guys was not prominently displayed in the house, which is a little weird, so got you new ones.
Gee, thanks. Very thoughtful.
I can't believe you're not going to be here for Christmas. You're going to miss all the fun.
The tree trimming, the cookies, the annual Willems nerf battle on Christmas morning.
Eat nerf!
Thanks. But I already ate. Merry Christmas, guys. This universe has the weirdest traditions. Thanks for waiting. Oh my god. You have a new festive hat.
This holiday is the biggest cash cow there is. What could endear the unwashed masses more than a teensy little Santa hat?
Do you think we have time to produce Christmas CHARL pins before the holiday?
Of course. Good thing we foiled the merch team's attempts to form a union. Now we can make them work overnight to get this done. So, did you get all that explaining out of your system?
Oh, yeah, I'll be fine for a while now. These parents work just as well as the ones back in my universe.
Excellent. I can't have you distracted. I have big plans for this year. I dare say 2021 will be the year of CHARL.
You said it, buddy. Merry Christmas, CHARL.
Yes, Merry Christmas. To me.
Well, folks, it's me again. And that's right, I'm here once again to talk to you about the season finale. Now, if you watched the last video, you know that while it was originally supposed to be a short film, it has expanded into a feature-length movie. So for all you people in the comments who are always saying, Patrick, when are you gonna make a feature? Well, I did. This is it. I hope you're happy, and I promise it is almost done. We are in post-production, working on VFX and sound mixing and color grading, and it's looking pretty good, so I think it's gonna be worth the 6-month wait. Now, as we know, the finale will be available exclusively on Nebula, the curated streaming platform that I helped build, that is now available on Apple TV, Roku, iOS, Android, Amazon Fire TV, and a bunch more apps currently in development. The reason it's there is because Nebula gave us the budget and the resources to make this thing so much bigger than it ever could have been if I had self-funded it and put it on YouTube. And without giving anything away yet, the season finale is not the only Nebula exclusive project that I have coming in 2022. In fact, there are a ton of Nebula exclusive projects coming soon from some of the best creators out there. Like more projects than we've ever had before. And just personally, from what I've seen, They're pretty cool and pretty exciting, and I can't wait to see them. So if you want to see any of these, you gotta sign up. And all of this is possible because we've partnered with CuriosityStream, the great streaming service dedicated to documentaries and nonfiction programming, and we have worked out a deal where if you sign up for CuriosityStream at the link in the description, you get a Nebula subscription for free. Not a free trial, a full free subscription. But wait, it gets better because it's the holidays and we're feeling kinda generous. Right now, we are offering a holiday discount that gives you 42% off of an annual plan. So basically, you get a full year of CuriosityStream and Nebula for $11.59. That is less than the cost of 1 month of some other streaming services. I really can't overstate how much good stuff there is to watch here. Like, I talk a lot about heist movies here, as we all know, and I just saw that CuriosityStream has an entire series called Art of the Heist that is all about the biggest art heists of the last century. And as we all know, art heists are the best kind of heists. They're so classy. And seriously, signing up, it really helps my channel and this whole community that we're building, and it helps us be able to make more ambitious original projects going forward. So look, it's Christmas. Give yourself a gift and sign up today. Or give this gift to a friend, or your parents, or your dumb older brother who could really benefit from watching something smart for a change. Okay, that's all. I have to go catch a train upstate. Merry Christmas, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next year. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas, it's me just one more time. I wanna explain or clarify a point in the video because there's the part where my dad, sitting actually right where I am right now, he says the line, "Eat Nerf," and then shoots me with a Nerf gun. And there's a chance that, a few of you out there may have assumed that this was a reference to or a quote from the recent season 2 Ted Lasso Christmas episode in which at one point a kid says, "Eat Nerf," and shoots someone with a Nerf gun. Here's a clip of that.
Eat Nerf!
That is not the case. This is by no means a reference to that episode or that moment. The fact of the matter is that this is a reference to admittedly, a really weird, long-standing Willems family tradition that we started doing when I was a kid, where we would, this will sound weird, we would make the same kind of like Christmas short film every single year. And this short film would involve stuff like my dad toppling the Christmas tree on top of me, but then after that, my dad would be behind the tree holding a Nerf gun and would say, "Eat Nerf," and then shoot me with the Nerf gun, and the dart would stick to my head. Here's a clip of one of those. Eat Nerf. That's one of the later ones. The earlier ones are all on VHS. Anyway, it was basically just an inside joke. Ted Lasso stole this from my family, and we're all really hurt and offended by it. So I don't know what to tell you, but that's the origin of that line. I don't think this is necessary. I don't think anyone actually really cared about this. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.